Hi there and welcome to the Muay Thai Coach vlog. This is a question about breathing when you're hitting the bag, hitting the pads when you're sparring, and why that's important, why breathing correctly and breath control is important, and also an explanation of like the noises you might hear some people making in the gym when they're hitting the pads or whatever. So the first point to make is about regulating breathing, okay? So you're learning how to basically take the energy that you've got and apply that over a round, and you're conserving energy. So people want to get fitness improved when they start Muay Thai, but the second element is conditioning. So fitness is basically your ability to produce power over 5 rounds, let's say. Conditioning is your ability to control whatever energy you have. So by regulating your breathing, you can actually start to control the amount of energy that you're using. Okay, so that's one really important reason for breathing out when you strike. That's one reason. Another important reason is it's going to generate more power. So when you exhale on the strike, that's going to make that power a bit more. You're going to add a bit more power into your strikes. So that's another reason for, breathing out on the strike. Another reason for breathing out on the strike is that when we're hitting pads, eventually we're going to be moving on to doing sparring. So what we need to be aware of, like particularly if we're getting kicked or punched in the body, if we're breathing in when we're getting kicked or punched, we're quite likely to get winded. Okay, so what that out breath does, we're not fully exhaling the breath, we're keeping like a balloon of air in the lungs. So if we are struck in the body, kicked or kneed or punched or whatever, then we're not going to get winded. So that's a reason for it. And in terms of what sound needs to be made, just try and just breathe out. You can breathe out through your nose, you can breathe out through your mouth. But as long as you're breathing out, that's the key point. And then onto the noises that your grunts and so on that you hear people make when they hit the pads. If you've ever watched a tennis match, like Wimbledon was on recently, and if you ever watch that, you'll hear the tennis players grunting and making noises, all sorts of different strange noises when they hit the ball or return a serve. It's exactly the same. It's to do with power generation. And I think one of the barriers is people at first are going to be feeling a bit self-conscious about that, but nobody's kind of listening to the breath you make, the sound you make, or the grunting noise that you might make. So that's, if you're concerned about that, that's just in your own head. You need to sort of get over that and just get on and hit the pads and breathe out, and so on. Another good reason for those grunts and those sounds and those out breaths are, it kind of gets you back into the present moment where you're at. Muay Thai is about being in the moment. When you're sparring, you've got to be able to be present. And when somebody's kicking you or you've got a block, you've got to just be there and flow. So when you're making those out breaths and those noises, it's very much keeping you centered on the here and now, and you're learning to flow with things. So there we go. Hope that helps. So I'm not going to say, oh, this is the noise that you need to make or whatever. If you want to kind of pick somebody that that makes a noise that you like the sound of, you could start off by copying that. But it's just important to actually get yourself breathing when you hit, and just enjoy it. Enjoy it, and don't worry about the sound you make when you breathe. Nobody really is listening or cares, but the coaches care, and as much as we want to see you breathing correctly and regularly, so that when you do that sparring and that push kick lands, you're breathing out, as that push kick lands on you as well. Or if somebody were to hit you as you hit them, then you would be able to not get winded, which is it's not a pleasant feeling. So we're trying to help you avoid that feeling of being winded. Hope that helps. If you've got any questions, post them below. Thanks and enjoy your training.